a prisoner at the Central California Women's Facility, I was doing my time in solitary, considered the most dangerous unit in the prison. Most inmates are here because they've attacked a correctional officer or another prisoner. This is the one place officers have guns inside the prison and will use them if necessary. Like all inmates in ADSEG, when I was outside my cell, I had to be handcuffed.
Okay, step inside, stand right here.
This was my new home, a cinder block cell just 11 by 6 feet, with a narrow window that doesn't open. There were shelves, a bunk bed, a sink, and what the inmates call a telephone. Actually, the air vent behind the toilet.
Have you been in prison for a while?
No, this is my first time in prison. I got here on April 4th.
This was how I found out my next-door neighbor's name was Luna.
Oh, and why are you in here then?
Because I had a battery charge. I beat up an inmate out on a yard.
You have children? How many?
I got 5 kids. My oldest will be 18 on the 11th of July.
I have 3 girls.
You do?
Yep.
It was hard to keep in mind that the friendly voice on the other side of the wall belonged to an inmate who, like all the other prisoners in here, is considered extremely dangerous. The women in ADSEG are locked up 23 hours out of every 24. After just a few hours, I was more than ready for my time in the yard. As I passed by the other cells, warning signs on the doors reminded me that the behavior of the inmates here was totally unpredictable. I was escorted to a cement yard, about half the size of a basketball court, surrounded by a 12-foot-high chain-linked fence topped by razor wire. Officers observe your every move. I was also watched from the tower above by an armed guard. There isn't much to do except feel the sun and listen. The only other time I was let out of my cell was to take a shower. Although it was only a few yards away, again, I was handcuffed. The shower room is its own cell with what they call a modesty screen. I quickly figured out what the other inmates already knew. For additional privacy, I had to hang my towel in the open space next to the lock.
Oh. That'll wake you up.
The rest of my time in ADSEG, I was locked up, talking.
There's no warning shots, not an ADSEG. Hell no, they'll shoot you to kill you.
Really?
Thinking, and listening to the ever-present noise. It was hard to tell how much time had passed until I heard the sound of dinner being served.
Step out from the port, London.
Standard issue, a piece of chicken, potatoes, and a roll.
Okay, here's your dinner.
Thank you.
By this time, I was grateful not only for the food, but for the simple distraction.
We're gonna let her eat, Sarge.
After dinner, I settled into an uneasy rest, but I was quickly robbed of my private moment by the bright flashlight of the officers doing a head count. I finally realized I would not be getting much sleep here, so was back on the telephone with Luna long into the night.
How dangerous is it in here?
Okay, to be honest with you, it's as dangerous as you make it to be. If you want to come in here being a hard head, a hard ass, or whatever, okay, somebody's bound to take you up on it, either beat your ass or gonna beat her ass. That's just the way the system is, okay?
You guys, do you talk all night or
Yeah,
can
we're
people
allowed to
sleep
talk
here?
as much as we want. Yell from one end of the hall to the other, to one tier to the end of the other tier.
Luna showed me something else they do to pass the time. It's called fishing. Inmates make a long, thin fishing line out of strips they tear from their sheets. On one end, they attach some kind of weight. The plastic-wrapped serving of bologna and cheese that came with lunch was especially popular. When the guards aren't looking, one inmate shoots her line out of the bottom of the cell door. Another tries to catch the weight with a fishing line of her own. In this way, inmates can pass items between cells and even from one floor to the next.
Yeah, what are you fishing? Like, what are you sending to
Okay,
each other?
different things. We could either be fishing for cigarettes, we could be fishing for magazines. You name it, we're fishing for it back here. Food?
Food?
Yeah. You see me send Joker cake tonight.
Joker, it turned out, is the undisputed fishing champion. She shouted instructions to me so I could try fishing myself.
Joker!
Yeah. She's coming out. That's right. Yeah.
Although I'd been hearing her yell for hours, I had no idea what Joker looked like or what she was in for. Our camerawoman went to find out.
I don't know how you got that name.
Joker, because of my smile. Yeah, that's why they call me Joker.
What are you doing? How'd you get in here?
Man, if I got possession of a firearm, that's why I'm here.
Joker and I fished for about a half hour, but it was hard to get the hang of it. I was better at being a pinner, the inmate who watches for the guards. Fishing is strictly prohibited.
Uh-oh. Are those guys coming up? Luna, the guy's coming up.
For a moment, I had become part of the inmate culture, and I finally got the hang of fishing.
Okay, I'm going to your house.
Okay.
Get your car out. There you go. Okay, take me in. Yeah, right there. Got it.
Luna sent me a magazine and asked me to return it with my autograph. In that moment, it was clear that I was not one of them. That for me, the experience in ADSEG had only been a glimpse at a life that will continue day in and day out in exactly the same way, long after I'm back home in my own bed. It was early the next morning when I was released, never so grateful for the simple freedoms we all take for granted.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care and good luck.
All righty. Well, a few hours. Those women in there are going to spend years, and all I can say is that going in there is terrifying. First of all, just having handcuffs on and your feet chained is terrifying, but going in there was one of the scariest things I've ever done.